What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope y'all are having a great start to your morning. I'm going to make this quick. All I'm going to do is go over your weekend forecast, talk about what we're expecting this weekend. I'm not going to go super detailed. I'm going to do that tonight. Stay tuned tonight, guys. Very, very long video, very detailed video on what is going on starting really tomorrow throughout the week. We have frequent cold fronts, frequent troughs that are going to be bringing dynamic weather through almost all of next week. I'm talking about cold blast, big time severe weather outbreaks. One specifically, definitely tomorrow, and the potential for a couple next week for the South. So we're going to break all that down tonight, guys. I don't really have a lot of time to get as detailed as I want to get this morning because I have a very busy morning this morning. Just really, literally woke up out of bed. That's why my hair is all crazy. So sorry about that. But I'm going to briefly go over what's going on today for your weekend forecast for anybody who has plans today outside or just doing yard work or whatever y'all got going on. So if you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, tune in tonight. We get a lot more detailed on what's going on. I've been mentioning for a few days now that the last week of October was starting to look more and more active. Probably their most active week of weather in October so far this month. So let's get going here. So what we got going here is I will mention today there is a slight chance of some severe storms across more areas to the west of this region, but tomorrow there is a big time risk of tornadoes and basically all weather hazards, including damaging winds, large hail, a chance of tornadoes and heavy rain. So there is an enhanced risk that's stretching as far north as western areas of always get Illinois and Indiana mixed up, of Illinois going all the way down to a very small area of Oklahoma and a very large area of northern Arkansas. This includes cities like, basically the Ozarks and Springfield, Missouri, places like this. Anybody in this enhanced area, even the slight risk, need to watch out. Big time area of severe storms as you have a low level trough that's swinging through. You have a brief but enough low-level moisture that surges in this area, some modest dew points, modest instability, CAPE, storm fuel, and therefore you have a very small area. Well, I wouldn't say small, but you have a relatively small area of a 10% chance of tornadoes in this area right here. That's why they've cracked open that enhanced risk. A 10% risk of tornadoes in this yellow area and 25 miles in any given location or point in this yellow area. So that's pretty significant. Wind threat is large too, as these storms congeal together later at night tomorrow and become more linear, which turns into a line of storms. And like I said, we'll get more detailed on this tonight. Early on, that's why this is ticked a little bit more to the west. Early on, when these are supercellular in nature, meaning discrete storms, meaning they'll have more of their own explosive updrafts, there is a chance here for some hail and these supercells, as there always is with supercells. I will mention, as far as the dry air, this is dew points. Dry air will remain across areas of the southeast, even including areas of northern Georgia. Y'all will experience a nice, pleasant day as far as drier air, but you notice this surge in dew points surging north ahead of a tight boundary between dry and moist air that will begin to promote the outbreak of storms tomorrow across this section of the country. So Missouri, you're the big state here. Dew points surge north in what you would call a moist sector. Meanwhile, the dew points are still low in the Carolinas and Georgia as basically dry air is entrenched into the CAD areas, the cold air damming areas right here. That begins to also lift and moisture begins to briefly return, and then this cold front begins to dip down as we get in early next week. But we're not going to break down early next week yet. So what I'm saying is if you live in the Carolinas, Georgia, even Alabama, Virginia, points north into the mid-Atlantic and northeast. A very beautiful weekend, a cool weekend, a nice weekend. As far as what the temperatures look like, correspond with that, we get into our Saturday afternoon. This is temperatures warming up. Now, I will mention Texas, you will be much more uncomfortable, Louisiana, Arkansas, because you're starting to get that rise in the Gulf moisture moving northward. So you're going to get 80s, upper 80s mixed in with some higher humidity. That will make for more of a summer feel as far as a fall feel. Meanwhile, in this areas of the Carolinas and Georgia, you have high temperatures in the 70s, maybe a few 80s, but the humidity will be low. I will mention you guys in Florida will still be very warm and uncomfortable, especially from middle part of Florida points south. But as far as the Northeast, you are in store for a nice, well, I wouldn't say nice for everybody, but you're in store for definitely a chilly fall-like Saturday. And then tonight we dip down. You notice with the cooler air is entrenched east of the mountains here. That's what you call cold air damming or wedge. You notice all these blues popping up, so sub-freezing temperatures into the interior areas of the Northeast. So dipping down pretty low here. Now you got this cooler air entrenched into the Carolinas and Georgia, and then tomorrow we all warm up pretty good back into the 80s for a lot of areas, and then we have that warm sector, moist sector building here in Missouri where temperatures will rise very quickly before they drop very quickly, which would promote a severe weather event. So sorry, just burp on camera. There you go, guys. I'm human too. So today, you got an area of moisture that's going to surge through southern areas of Missouri and then fizzle apart. But tomorrow, we get into tomorrow afternoon, evening, and this is where just south of this surface low, it's hard to see, and we'll zoom in closer on it tonight. But it really won't be tonight. I have y'all video probably as early as late afternoon, a little bit earlier than I normally make it. But these are where these storms will fire up in Missouri tomorrow. So we'll have to watch that. They'll turn to a line and they'll fizzle apart. And meanwhile, I think tomorrow will be a very wet day for Florida, as you have some moisture surging across the peninsula of Florida. So that's all I got, guys. I know I sped through that. Got a lot to do today, and I'll get to you guys later this afternoon. My kids are screaming, so we'll get you going here. Y'all have a blessed day, and hope y'all have a great start to your weekend.